Alright, now that I've done the first pre-release pack sealed deck, I'm going to go ahead and open up a second pre-release pack sealed deck, and I'll be pitting this deck up against my first pre-release pack, but I'm going to show you the deck that I build first. So let's go ahead and open this and see what I get inside. You can find a link to the first sealed deck in the description box below. Alright, we get a black spin down, and if you remember, I got a black spin down for the other one, so that's unfortunate. We have the Mutating Your Creatures guide. My premium rare is an Offspring's Revenge. A little bit bent. We have a thank you for going to the pre-release, 6 packs with the code. That's great. I wish it was an entry for actual sealed deck, but at least you get something to connect your experience to the digital experience, and I've already redeemed this code, so don't bother trying to put it in. This is our pack of tokens. Double-sided, so they have different abilities on each side. Card divider, and our packs. 3 King Kongs, 2 Prickly Marmosets, and a Vivian. Let's go ahead and open them up and see what we get inside. Get a Glimmerbell, Paraceratops, Main Serval, Dark Bargain, Survivor's Bond, Evolving Wilds, Memory Leak, Essence Scatter, Greater Sandworm, Pacifism, Brooding Moloch, Sprite Dragon, Savai Crystal, Titan's Nest at rare, then a Human Soldier and a Mountain. A Forbidden Friendship, Solid Footing, a Frostlynx, Tentative Connection, Dead Weight, Almighty Brushwag, Vulpikeet in fancy artwork. This looks really rad. I think it's white, yeah. Mosscoat Goriak, Boot Nipper, which I like, the Adaptive Shimmerer, a Flourishing Fox, Stormwild Caprador, which is cool, a Grim Dancer, and a Savai Triumph. Wow, look at that! It's borderless, it looks so pretty. And then a Human Soldier token and a Plains. To Vivian next. Of One Mind, Lava Serpent, Main Serval, Glimmerbell, Cavern Whisperer. So this is fancy art. I think I already got one though. Humble Naturalist, Mosscoat Goriak, Boot Nipper, Anticipate, Zenith Flare, the Scourge of Draft, Splendor Mare, Insatiable Hemophage, Nethroy, Apex of Death. Guy is ridiculous. Would make me play it. Zerda, the Dawnwaker. I don't think I'm going to be able to pull off this as a companion, but you know, it's a pretty decent card, 3/3 for 3 with a decent minor ability. Tranquil Cove, and a card that also has tokens on it. Now this is interesting because this is a much thinner card stock than this card stock that came in the pre-release pack. As you can see, it's significantly thin. This is just like a card with some tokens that you can punch out of it. And so this is not as good, but you know, it's nice that you have these. And they're double-sided, so you get one of each ability, it looks like. Maybe not one of each, but one of many of the abilities that you can get via counters. Alright, next. We have Forbidden Friendship, a Solid Footing, Honey Mammoth, Serrated Scorpion, Sleeper Dart, Memory Leak, Greater Sandworm, Springjaw Trap, Rumbling Rock Slide, Reconnaissance Mission, Reptilian Reflection, Boon of the Wishgiver, Yadaro, Wandering Monster, a Foil Plains and a Regular Plains, okay, and a Beast token. Ooh, that looks kind of cool. One more. Starling Development, Frenzied Raptor, Checkpoint Officer, Thieving Otter, Fully Grown, Adaptive Shimmerer, Crustacean, Fire Prophecy, Savai Sabertooth, Momentum Rumbler, Charge of the Forever Beast, Bastion of Remembrance, Hunted Nightmare, Will of the All Hunter in foil, a Forest and a Human Soldier, a Prickly Marmoset, Spontaneous Flight, Startling Development, Whisper Squad, Sudden Spinnerets, Batagia Tiger, Heightened Reflexes, Sleeper Dart again, Convolute, Unexpected Fangs, a Skull Prophet, a Huntmaster Liger, a Rawgrin Crystal, Ruinous Ultimatum, which is a pretty powerful card. And it matches the Offspring's Revenge there. A Windscarred Crag. And a Human Soldier token. Alright, there's nothing that pulls me really strongly in one direction, but the Ruinous Ultimatum, the Offspring's Revenge, and the Nethroi kind of pull me towards playing Mardu splashing green for the Nethroi maybe. So let's see what we can pull off here with the cards that I have. First up is white. We have Huntmaster Liger, which I think is a pretty decent card. It's not amazing. The Potato Tiger, which is also okay, but nothing I would write home about. Spontaneous Flight is an okay combat trick. Will of the All Hunter, I think, is a better combat trick because it can also be cycled and it costs less. The Savai Sabertooths are decent aggressive creatures if you want to be super aggressive. I have Checkpoint Officer, which I like a lot. Solid Footing is probably a garbage card. Splendor Mare is decent though. I like that. Probably more than the Huntmaster Liger. Main Serval is probably not going to get played here. The Stormwild Caprador can be good. It's kind of annoying and it basically blanks all damage-based removal on it, so I like it. Flourishing Fox is rad in a cycling deck, but even with just a few cycling cards, it can be decent, and you can just cycle it if you don't need it, so I like it too. Vulpikeet, pretty good card too. I'm liking white so far, just in terms of quality of creatures, not in terms of quality of spells, but we do have a pacifism, which is really good. So white looks alright. I mean, there's nothing amazing in white, but it looks alright. With blue, we get a Convolute. That's probably not going to get played. Starting Development is decent just because you can cycle it. Crustacean is probably not going to get played. Thieving Otter is not bad of a creature. Get another Starting Development. Boon is pretty good. I like it a lot. For Chronos Submission, if you have enough creatures that are evasive, I do like its ability to get you a lot of value. Anticipate can be alright as a 23rd card. Glimmerbell is a decent target to put a Mutate on. One of Mind is alright card draw. I like it. Alright. Frostlinks is okay. It's not amazing as it was in perhaps other sets, but I like it. The Essence Scatter is kind of removal, and I kind of like it. And a second Glimmerbell. So blue is not exciting either. It doesn't have any removal, and aside from Essence Scatter, and then it does have some decent cycling cards, but it's not a huge draw right now. Unexpected Fangs is not that good. Whisper Squad I only have one of, which is really bad. Hunted Nightmare can be good, so it's something to keep in mind if I have enough removal to go with it. Bastion I really like, and Memory League I like pretty well too. Serrated Scorpion is probably not what we're doing, but it could be possible. I like the Insatiable Hemophage decently. I like the Boot Number quite a bit. Cavern Whisperer, like the Insatiable Hemophage, is pretty decent. I like the Grim Dancer quite a bit as well. Another Boot Nipper, which, you know, is always making me scream, I want to play black. We have a Deadweight as well. Another Memory Leak, which can just cycle, so I like that a lot. Dark Bargain is decent card draw. So I like black. Black has a lot going for it in terms of what we want. In red, we have Heightened Reflexes, which is okay if you're aggressive. Prickly Marmoset can be good, especially if you're cycling. Momentum Reliever can be okay. The Fire Prophecy is good removal. The Frenzied Raptor is not the best creature in the world. Yodaro can be good. It is itself a cycling card. And you just cycle it away until you get into the late game, and then it just comes down as a beast. So, I like it a lot. Reptilian Reflection, if you're playing cycling, can be good. I don't know if I have enough cycling to make that work. We have Rumbling Rockslide, which I also like quite a bit. We have Forbidden Friendship, which can work, I guess, as a low drop creature. Not exciting, but it's decent. And then Lava Serpent, which I like. You can just cycle it away if it's early, and then you just play it if it's late. I like it. Tentative Connection is not something that I think that we're doing in this deck, because we don't have any sacrifice outlets, so we'll put that in the back. I like Forbidden Friendship. Okay, Rooting Moloch is really good, if just in general as a 4/4, but the fact that it can get you one of your cycling cards back for another play is pretty good. And Paraceratops can be good if we're playing with enough non-creature spells, so that's something to keep an eye out for. So red looks really good too. I actually like red and black and white so far, so it's actually turning out to be in the colors that I want them to be in. In green we have Sudden Spinnerets, which is an alright trick. Charge of Fire Beast I think is not as good a removal as I had hoped, as maybe even the more common Ram Through, just because you need to have a creature in your hand and it has to be big enough that you can use it to kill stuff, so I don't love it. Fully Grown is an okay combat trick. I like the Greater Sandworm a lot. Honey Mammoth can be pretty good, especially if you have a way of getting stuff back from the graveyard. Moss Coat is just okay. It's not exciting. I do like the Naturalist as a way of ramping into your bigger creatures. Another Moss Coat. Brush Frag is a decent target for your mutates, and it can be a threat just by itself in the late game, so I like that okay. Another Greater Sandworm, which I like, and a Survivor's Bond. So I like the Greater Sandworms, but green is a bit thin on cards, and so I'm not really high on playing green. In red and blue, we have a Sprite Dragon, so if we're playing that, we could do this, but I don't think we have enough non-creature spells that I would want to actually play. I guess we have a good number here in blue, but yeah, I think we're a little short on desirable non-creature spells to really play the Sprite Dragon. And I don't think blue is one of my stronger colors, so that's the reason why I am not that interested in that. Titan's Nest as a rare is just going to eat through my deck really fast and cause me to lose. And yeah, it may ramp me in terms of colored mana, but I don't think that this is a limited card, so I don't think I'm going to be playing this. Savai Triumph and the Savai Crystal are both in the Mardu colors, which I am really tilted towards wanting to play because of the Ruinous Ultimatum, and to a lesser extent, the Offspring's Revenge. This is best if I have creatures that have additional value, and so then there's a question, is do I have anything that I really want to bring back for its abilities? And it doesn't actually look like that's what I'm trying to do here. There's nothing in terms of good enter the battlefield effects that I can see in white. I mean, it does work well with the Bastion of Remembrance because I can just lose a creature, get a creature back, and my opponent starts losing life. Maybe if I had more serrated Scorpions. So yeah, I don't think this is what I'm trying to do, so I'm probably actually not going to play this either. I could splash green if I had some green fixing. I have an Evolving Wilds. None of these are fixing. I don't think I'd play any of these, I don't think. I have blue fixing. And if I had enough cycling, the Zenith Flare could actually be playable. I'd probably also play the Zerda, but I would need green fixing to play the Nethroi. It is in 2 of the 3 colors that I want to play though, so it is possible. I just have to think about how I'm going to get to it. So Rogran Crystal has 2 of the 3 colors as well, but I mean, I already have these 2, so I don't know if I need this, and I certainly don't need this because I'm not playing blue. So blue's out, and then I think green is out as well. I mean, you know, there are some decent cards here, but it's just not strong enough. So we'll get rid of that. Skull Prophet goes out because I'm not playing green, and the Sprite Dragon's out because I'm not playing blue. So let's see what kind of deck we can build here, and then keep this in mind. Maybe I can splash for this. I don't even need the green to cast it normally. Like, I just want to mutate it for the most part, so I get that huge value of getting 10 power from my graveyard back, and I don't even need the green for that because the green is one of the 2 off colors here. So this I'm going to play, and maybe I'll just put in 1 forest at some point to potentially cast this just straight if I absolutely need to. Alright, we're going to play both of these for now. We're going to play the Savai Triumph for sure. The question is, what are my 2 main colors? I think white is one of them just because I have so many creatures in white compared to the other 2 colors. White and black, I think, are going to be my 2 main colors, and red is going to be my tertiary color, which is good because that's what we want for that. Okay, so let's set up the cards. Since red is not my main color, I'm only going to put in the cards that can cycle or that have some strong value. Even the Prickly Marmoset shouldn't be in this just because there's no certainty that I'm going to be able to play it. These I can play in the late game and it's fine. Actually, Prickly Marmoset's good in the late game too, but just because I don't know that this deck is really going to hit that cycling mark, and that's why I might cut this Flourishing Fox as well. So for the Zenith Flare, I have to count the number of cycling cards that I have. Right now, I have 9 cycling cards total, and if all of them go to the graveyard, then this will hit for pretty well, but I have to get to all of them, and I do have to put them all in the graveyard, and I feel like I need maybe more than 9 for it to be good. So that is a quandary that we have. It has 19 creatures and 13 spells for a total of 33 cards. I have to cut 10 cards from this. How many mutate creatures do I have is question number 1. I have 5 mutate creatures, which I need, so I need targets for them to be put on. I like the Boot Nippers, the Grim Dancer, the Caprador, Splendermare, Zerda. So I actually like my creature package here. Ruinous Ultimatum I think is too good not to play, so I have to keep that. So we're looking at some other things to potentially cut. And Zerda makes cycling cheaper, so I like Zerda. I think I'm going to cut Spontaneous Flight. This is just a trick. I think we cut the Serrated Scorpion, because as a creature, it's probably the weakest. I think we can cut the Savai Sabertooth as well. I think with all of the cycling, I can get rid of the Dark Bargain. I think of my various creatures, the Liger might actually be one of the weaker ones, because its ability to give other creatures +X is probably just going to be +1/+1 most of the time. And this is not the aggressive deck, this is kind of the value deck. I think I get rid of the Nightmare. I think the upside to everything else is just a little bit higher, and the downside to this is just big enough for me to cut it, even though it's a rare. So that's 15 creatures and 10 spells, which is 25. I have 9 cycling cards in the deck. That means 15 lands. With the Savai Crystal being sort of an additional land, that's 16. Maybe that actually still might work just because of the amount of cycling that I have in this deck. Or is that too greedy, and should I be at 16 because I want to be able to cast Ruinous? I think I need to cut one more card. One more non-cycling card to be precise. Maybe I just go 15 lands and hope that the cycling will get me there, because cycling is more than a third of my cards. And I have the Savai Crystal and the Fire Prophecy. No, I need to make another cut. Okay, these are some hard cuts, but I think I'm going to cut the Bastion of Remembrance because I don't make enough creatures, I think, for this to be good. I have so many mutate creatures that I'm not going to be able to go wide enough to abuse this. And the Nethroi is going to be enough value by itself that I don't think I need to use the Bastion to get there. Okay, I think this is what I'm going to go with here. So I have 10 spells, I have 15 creatures, that puts me at 25. The Savai Crystal is basically a land as well, but it's also a cycling card in case I need to get rid of it. I can cycle the Triome. I have 9 cycling cards, which I think can get me to the lands that I need. So I can probably cut down to 15 lands. I know it's a little dangerous, but I think that's what I'm going to do. So let's count the lands and see what we need to put in here. I have 13 white, 12 black, 9 red. So I'm actually fairly even, just lighter on the red, and the red is the least important because I only have 4 spells that I need to hardcast with red. Now in my fixing I have Savai Triome and Windscarred Crag, which count for 2 red, 2 white, and 1 black apiece. And then this counts for 1 of each land. The Savai Crystal counts for 1 of each as well. So I want slightly more white. That's 3 of my 15 lands. 5 of white will get me to 7 plains, 8 in counting the Evolving Wilds. 5 black will get me to 6 swamps. 7 swamps counting the Evolving Wilds. So 5 white, 5 black, and 2 red will get me to 4 red. 5 counting the Evolving Wilds, 6 counting the Savai Crystal. That might actually be enough. Here's the mountains, here's the swamps, and our plains for 15 lands. It might be a mistake, but I think that since a huge chunk of the deck is cycling, I think it should be able to get there. Alright, and that is the deck. I'm going to sleeve this up and see how well it goes.